Welcome back. Nigeria may just have survived a bout with acute shortage of petroleum products, but beyond it is the underlying issue of subsidy payment. In our next report, our energy correspondent Olu Phillips examines the opinions about subsidy removal.
Do you remember these pictures? Those are images of a mass reaction to federal government's decision on January 1st, 2012 to stop subsidizing the pump price of petrol. At the then price of 65 naira, it was to hit 120 naira per litre, and what followed?
We will continue to occupy the air until he returns to 65. Thank you very much.
The issue of subsidy and the fact that it is being removed is not actually being done to create any negativity to Nigerians. In fact, what is happening is tantamount to a transfer to move this subsidy or apparent perceived subsidy into areas that we felt as government would be much, much more beneficial to the Nigerian populace as a whole.
After days of negotiations, a truce was reached, petrol price was fixed for 97 naira, and consequently, lives returned to normal. However, what did the protests do to Nigerians? Perhaps for the first time, more citizens became conscious of the activities around the nation's oil resource. Seemed like the billions involved in subsidy payment didn't go down well. On January the 8th, 2012, in an emergency session, the House of Representatives set up an ad hoc committee to verify and determine the actual subsidy requirement and monitor the implementation of the subsidy regime in Nigeria. Queries were issued, answers were provided, there were verdicts, but interestingly, nobody is in jail. The committee recommended that if the PSF scheme was properly managed, the sum of over 1 trillion naira would have been available to the 3 tiers of government for budget enhancement. 3 years after, in 2015, Nigeria is hit with acute scarcity of petroleum products again. Pushing for days, it almost threatens the transition program. What again this time? Well, the marketers are singing same old tune. They want refunds of their money before any further product import can happen. In a clearer term, they wanted their subsidy money paid, which they claimed amounted to 200 billion naira, a figure which is still in dispute. Well, when Nigerians were asked to pay more for petrol in 2012, they resisted that proposal. Today, it seems they have a change of heart.
And since we are all calling for a change, let the fuel subsidy go. Let the money we use on fuel subsidy be used to repair our refinery and probably build other refinery across the 6 zones, these geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Nigeria,
as a net producer of crude, 2 million and above per day, is still grappling to refine locally for her daily consumption.
If the government that is coming will take that report and look at that report and do the needful according to that report, we won't have what we are having today. Having said that, moving forward, the government should take decisive steps. There shouldn't be any subsidy, because as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing like subsidy. It's a total scam, and people are holding government to the jugular and to say they are being all this, they are being all that. I think the way to move out of this is to make sure that the government revert to our refineries.
Turnaround maintenance remains the bane of the 4 refineries, but in a statement from the NNPC, it says that a phased rehabilitation program has started in October 2012 and will last for 18 months. Earlier, 18 licenses were issued for private refineries, but that has not left the realms of a mere document. Interestingly, some of the arrowheads at the Occupy Lagos protest were on the other side of political persuasions. And now, with a new government in the saddle from May 29, 2015, experts and concerns are keen on seeing what decisions will be taken and reached by General Buhari. Will he revamp the refineries? Will he provide a springboard for the already licensed refineries? Will Nigeria refine locally to her daily consumption requirements within his tenure? Will he address the perennial gas shortage to generating plants and also fix pipeline vandals? Will we see a synergy between the executive and the Senate that will pave way for the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill? These and more are very critical decisions to be taken, and that's not in doubt. What is of essence is how quickly he will deal.
Well, we're still following activities leading up to the handover, and right now there's a presidential inauguration dinner taking place at the banquet hall at the presidential villa in Abuja. President Goodluck Jonathan and President-elect Muhammadu Buhari are at the event, along with the former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, former Commonwealth Secretary General Emeka Anyoko, among other dignitaries. The banquet is a prelude to the inauguration ceremony tomorrow at the Eagle Square in the nation's capital. Expected at the event are several world leaders, including the UK Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond. US Secretary of State John Kerry will be leading the US delegation, while about 50 African heads of state are expected to grace the event. Also, President Goodluck Jonathan is to dissolve his cabinet tonight.
This is the ultimate redefined for men.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. Well, it was 1 week of excitement in Season 7 of the Channel's National Kids Cup. 16 schools began the race for the prestigious Under-13 trophy, and at the end, one school carted home the biggest prize of all. That's the trophy, of course. Well, this report reviews this year's competition.
One after the other, the participating schools arrive in Lagos with one mission: to win this year's championship. It does not matter if it's their first time in the host state.
I know for us being in the Channel's National Skills Cup in the national stage, with the help of Almighty God and the help of our game master, we'll be in the final.
We are preparing in our school since last week ago, and we are waiting so that we are preparing a lot so that we can bring this cup down to Osun State.
Before the kids get the taste of the pitch, they have to face a strict screening by members of the competition's technical committee to ensure that every pupil is within the age limit.
It has to be a complete...
It's action time. The thrilling and highly entertaining group phase goes into the record books for producing the most goals with a record 99.
It's an error, a shot, but nowhere in particular. The man takes another ballistic rocket of a shot. The same person who scored the first goal has scored the second one, and it's Nana almost. Now it's Tigi. Before they were dancing the Shoki dance.
From the group phase, it goes to the quarterfinals, where the men have to be separated from the boys. 18 goals are recorded.
And here comes Nana Primary School. This looks like second goal for them. And it's second goal, actually. The second goal for Nana Primary School, Warri. And it is 2-0 against Uncle Bayus in the second quarterfinal game.
4 schools: Nana Primary School from Delta State, Research Model Primary School, Kaduna, Christ the King's Primary School, Akwa Ibom, and Eyanugie Primary School from Edo, have to slug it out in the semi-finals.
Well, that'll be it on Sports News. The news at 10 continues shortly.
This is the ultimate redefined for men.
Now, as Burundi's President Pierre Nkurunziza insists on running a third term in the country's presidential election next month, the European Union says it will no longer be deploying an election observer mission there. The EU's decision is born out of developments in the recent days on restrictions on the media, use of excessive force against demonstrators, and the general tension in the country. The UN is reporting more 70,000 are now refugees in neighboring countries as a result of the crisis.